welcome to another edition of this crazy podcast with these crazy people. This Kifundis podcast. Are you good, gents?
We're good, Mamposa. We good. Proper.
Came with breaking stories that Yanga coach is gone and now...
Breaking stories also of who's going to be the new coach.
The fascinating thing was, in Casablanca there's a derby of Wydad and Raja. It should have been Coach Mlungisi Mokwena versus... but he decided otherwise. But I look forward to that game because they will tell us the champions and the pretenders. Gentlemen, the man moved from a relegation team in South Africa because TS Galaxy at the bottom of the food chain in South Africa at the moment. Now he's gone to a higher echelon there in Tanzania.
Who does it benefit, this move? If we're honest, who does it benefit?
Tell me.
Because you ask yourself, you're like, okay, the criteria that was used, yes, he's a qualified coach, tick that box. But where did he start his professional coaching? At TS Galaxy. What has he won? You look at his record, you look at things that he has achieved. Is this beneficial to Yanga or is it beneficial to Sead? I think personally it's beneficial to Sead because Sead gets into a team that is winning things. So meaning that automatically this should make him a winner. He did mention...
Hey, nothing is automatic, Chief.
He did mention...
Because the first game is what? Champions League.
He did mention Champions League. That's where I think they're going to have most of their problems because we spoke about pedigree of the Champions League. We spoke about the ambition of Yanga in progression because we spoke about the fact that they've done well last season. They want to better. They want to better. So pedigree, that fails. Already that fails.
Lufuno, here's the thing. When Sead was in South Africa, he had to perform for 6 games. 2 against Sundowns, 2 against Pirates, 2 against Chiefs. Whatever he does with the rest, it was almost oblivious. Now at Yanga, everybody in the country, be you Azam, be you Black Stars, you want to beat Yanga, so you must always be on top of your game, week in and week out. And then you have the Champions League. Is he ready for that pressure cooker? It's not like they're warming up the water. Look, you are already in the pressure in your first game.
Look, we need to ask a few questions. Is Sead himself a competitive coach? Yes or no? He is. Let me tell you.
He was against Coach Rulani, but against the others.
I will also want us to look at the other side of Sead. What he has done for TS Galaxy, what he has done for South African football in general. Him being at TS Galaxy, you can see the players that he has worked with that are performing at highest level. We spoke about Obas. He has worked hard on Obas. Mujela, he has worked hard on Mujela. Buthelezi, he's at Pirates. Musimango is at Chiefs. Has he done, besides the result, is there any other things that are tangible that Sead has done at Galaxy that has benefited South African football? Nobody can doubt that. Is Sead a coach that is competitive when he has to win games? I can tell you now, he is competitive. So
competitive is at the bottom of the log.
Sead, no, he's not the only coach that have benefited from coaching. Sunshine has never won anything before it comes to Sundowns.
No. This is a Sead conversation.
Yes, but I'm putting.
But I'm saying he's so competitive. He's at the bottom of the log.
I'm here for Sead. I'm here for Sead. Younger people, I'm here for your coach.
Sead was bottom of the log.
No,
is he not?
Let me tell you, Sunshine was loaned out after he failed to perform at Pirates. But I'm telling you, so I want to put this narrative to say, you coaching in a team that is not able to compete for position number 1 does not mean that you're not a good coach.
Mamposa, if we're going to look at a coach purely because he produces players, and that's it, and that's how we measure it, that you now can coach into a big team, then let's go mention under 8 coach, let's go mention under 13 coaches because they've produced players. I mean, if you look at Augusto Palicious, the amount of players that he's produced, we can confidently say, let him go and coach. You look at Sead's record, and I look at it, and I say, okay, Sead has coached 104 games.
For TS Galaxy.
For TS Galaxy. He has no other professional, so those are the only stats that I can pull. You look at the wins that he's had, out of that 104, there's 34. You look at the draws, 31. You look at the losses, it says 39. And you ask yourself, okay, goals for 113, goals against 114.
Lecoq, Sead is going to coach a team that has got resources, that has got players. Let's allow him to utilize what he has learned with that qualification that he has.
And that's what I'm saying.
No,
This is not a learning camp.
Gentlemen, wait. As a Simba fan, you are smiling there because
That's why I don't want to interrupt this conversation. I'm enjoying it.
because when you look at it, it is then, does he have the time? Because one, you need to know the environment in Dar, understand the team, understand your players. Your first game is the Champions League. Does he have enough time to do all those things?
Not a chance. I think he came too late to go coach a team that's going in the CAF Champions League. It's either you eat or be eaten in the tournament. And
There's no apologies
And
there.
the question marks of producing players, of bringing us quality players, it's something else. The team has quality. We need you to give us results. Is he going to give Yanga results?
Because Yanga are ambitious. They've said they want to get in the Champions
Highly
League.
ambitious team. Highly ambitious team. If you listen to the stat that Cox has just given you, it then speaks of, I usually say when we talk about coaches that produce good players, I'll reference a South African, which is at Stellies, Stephen
Steve
Barker.
Barker, yeah.
You look what he has done with the minimum quality he has. He produces quality. Look at where the team was when he's still there. He's still there. Look at the tournaments he's won.
Let's get to substantiate what he's doing with players from development. So players that have not played in the professional ranks before, and they get in.
And
for the team.
again, I need to correct something. Wait, I need to correct something. When we talk of developing players, if I get at a team and I find Cox there, I did not develop Cox. I found Cox there. I just gave Cox a platform to play. I'm a coach and I decide who plays. And you look at a player like Mujela, and then we're going to say he developed him. He didn't develop Mujela.
He found him there.
He found him there. Now he's going at a younger team. He's going to get Aziski there. He's going to get Clement there. What is he going to do with those players?
I think, I'm still a man of sit.
No.
Let me tell you something.
No,
I think it's wrong. It's wrong to say.
Lufuna, let's do this. Let's let this be the way we go. What he did against who doesn't matter. Yanga has got a mandate in front of you.
Yes.
Whether he did what against Coach Rulani, whether he did what. Chief, Yanga wants you to deliver. Are you the man?
We can only know that after 10 games. Then we can come here and sit and talk
10
about...
10 games quite a lot.
No, but wait. No,
it's quite a lot.
It looks like we are not giving Sead a chance. Because my view is that you've got a coach next door at Simba who relegated a team in South Africa. It's a coach that has never really coached a first team team. He failed. Wait.
Maritzburg was a first team team.
Then they got relegated. For that matter, he was an assistant at Raja, and he was now given a big job at Simba. That they've got
Assistant
ambitions.
where? Assistant where?
At Raja.
Oh,
he was
okay.
an assistant coach.
Where did Raja finish?
No, but he was an assistant coach.
Where did Raja finish?
It's not a point. It was not a coach.
Where did Raja finish? West part. You even mentioning he wasn't a coach.
Lufuno's not being honest because this is the very same fact that was mentioned in a coach of the season debate. Here in his own country, he was mentioned in the coach of the season. Coach Peter had to come out and say, "I've won the law, so that means automatically I should be winning."
In South Africa, you can win coach of the season without.
But Lufuna, let me say, because the argument you're putting is lopsided. Fadlu did not start the season with Maritzburg. Fadlu arrived with what? Less than 10 games left.
The team was relegated.
No.
That's the bottom line.
Also, you just say
he got the job knowing very well what was at stake.
Okay,
he knew the assignment was to save the team. If he fails, the team was relegated under him.
So we say Fadlu is the standard.
I'm not saying it's a standard.
Fadlu's doing well at Simba now.
We cannot push the narrative that we don't want to give Sead an opportunity to coach.
Nobody's saying he's there, Chief.
By the way, this is a coach that Raja was looking at. So there's a coach that have submitted a CV.
He keeps pointing the gun at
don't
himself.
Forget.
A team was looking at you and they didn't take you. What did they take you?
He's there now. He's a coach. Simba has done what Raja have done their homework. They know exactly what they're putting themselves at.
I love the fact you mentioned Raja did their homework. That's why he's not there.
I'm saying to you, Yanga have done the homework. They know what they're looking for. So let's wait and let the game begin. Let's see what Sead can show us.
With that said, we know that the game's about to start.
Yeah.
You are now in the fire because his first game is the Champions League. No manga business. There's no time for you to feel your way.
Yanga has hired Sead based on potential. So there's no reference, because I know SC like making reference. There's no reference that SC can make right now.
Was there reference when Sundowns hired Rulani as a coach?
Oh,
It was based on potential.
It was based on him being in the system.
You see, being an assistant coach makes you a good coach.
Here's my thing. Is Coach Rulani at Yanga? Because you keep referring to Coach
No,
Rulani.
I'm saying Rulani was.
But he's such a Sead. He's such a Sead.
I'm referencing. I'm referencing. Yeah.
The fact that
I'm giving reference.
the fact that we can speak about the coach and you constantly have to refer to another one. It shows already your reference has to come from another one.
Talking about reference, we've got to look at what has happened in the past week and look at the impact of the Champions League. Gentlemen, national teams have qualified. Ghana, congratulations. Stay home. You guys stay. No, Ghana is staying
Now they
home.
must pay for their own sins.
Yeah.
Those ones they must pay for.
No, but they also know they haven't taken football seriously. That's why they stay home.
Okay, with that said, you look at the COSAFA region. This is the most participant that the COSAFA has in...
No. What does that represent?
Zoo 7.
Don't let him take.
Masipelele. In the words of Mzolisto, Masipelele Zoo 7. 7 titles, 7 games. Lufuno, here's the thing. You look at Joanning.
Yeah.
Contributed 9 players to the Botswana teams and we just go in the last game. You look at Tanzania, who have qualified. You've got 4 players from Yanga, you've got 4 players from Simba, and you've got 8 players from Azam, which were the top 3 of last season. You come to South Africa, you look at them having ended up 3rd and them having qualified unbeaten. You've got players that are playing in the Champions League from Sundowns and Pirates and Stelis who have now stepped up. You've then got to look at Angola, you say, the effects of the Champions League because these players have traveled. Champions League is bearing fruit at national level.
Yeah, I think the most critical point that we don't also forget to refer to is the league, your local league. You know, when you get your local league to be better, you know, to keep producing good quality players, because most of these players are playing in local leagues. And the teams that are troubling these big teams that have big name players that are playing in Europe are players that are playing in local league. You look at South Africa, the game that they played last, how many players that plays in Europe? Was in Ngezana? Who else?
Ngezana is the only one.
Thank you very much. So if you look at a team that have qualified, the Zimbabwean national team, if you look, few players, it's Maneti and I think another gentleman there, but 2 or 3 players. Most of the players are playing local leagues or around in African continent.
Just to add on that, we need to be specifically honest when we have that conversation and look at where these players are playing and which teams they are in. For one, I'll move away from those teams you're speaking about. I'll speak about Tanzania. You look at where Tanzania is at. You even look at their World Cup qualifiers. They're sitting on number 3. 3 points away from Egypt, if I'm not mistaken. I stand corrected by saying so. And you look at the number of players that are in their squad in these teams. For one, you look at probably a younger team. Look at the number of players that are in the team. They've got about plus minus 7 to 6 players. Azam has about 4. There's a third one, if I'm not mistaken.
The Simba also have got a...
Simba has about 5 of...
He's forgetting your own team.
Simba has about 5 players in the team. You look at the consistency of those players when you install them in that national team. It then tells you these are players that are playing in the Champions League. And they are getting to travel the whole of Africa versus being at home. And we've had coaches that come through. Marcel Cole has come out and said, if a player is traveling around the world, he knows what is he going to find when he gets to South Africa, moving away from the north. From South Africa to the north, a player can easily acclimatize to whatever situation he finds himself in. And it's quite important that we have players that are playing in these CAF Champions League so that when they come into a national team level, they produce what they've been producing in the CAF Champions.
Cox, let me then ask it this way, because when Hugo arrived, Hugo had his own team. He was not going to do anything, and he said he can't pick Sundowns players. Then he goes to the AFCON with the Sundowns players being the majority. And I stick to that not because it's Sundowns, but the experience the fact that those players that played in the Champions League, how much stability have they brought to Bafana Bafana?
I know you mentioned by Hugo, so I have to reference it. One thing I appreciate about it, he's a very stubborn coach. But once he sees things are going south, he correctly fixes it. I mean, our wake-up point was Ghana. the Ghana match. You know, the very same gripe that we had, but that was the wake-up point. Say, hey, this is what you should have done. This is what the team should take players on merit. Making reference to the Champions League and the teams that have beat players in the Champions League, that should be a stamp because it sets a different bar in terms of the local player that Lefumo was mentioning. It sets a different standard for them to be graded and for them to be pro. But also there's another thing that we take for granted as well, we don't mention. The fact that CAF went on and imposed that teams have to play in a certain level of stadia. Look at the number of countries that have had to play in South Africa because of the caliber of the stadium. They had to sort out. We take that for granted because that has allowed football to be played in a conducive environment. So let's not take those factors for granted. It has yielded because some Zimbabwe, where were they playing there?
Yeah, they were here.
The teams that have qualified.
Namibia, we're here.
You look
Namibia.
You see? Now, that's something that's reaching. So you have Champions League players, have players that are in that standard, but at the same time, facilities should allow them.
So what has happened, is it safe to then say, SC, CAF at national team level, they're doing well. The competitions within CAF are empowering national teams. Is that a safe statement to make?
Yeah, we need to look at our own country, South Africa. I mean, look at the number of Sundowns players that have helped us to get a bronze medal. I mean, he literally played almost the entire Sundowns squad in that team. And it's not saying that he's not a coach. If a coach for me at squad level is able to choose a team and say, I'm going to take 10 players away from Pirates or 10 players away from Sundowns, as much as it might inconvenience Sundowns, but then what does it do to the national team? You know, it helps them.
The Champions League.
Wait, we can probably reference your favorite coach in Botswana. Even Cox likes him. Look at what he did with Botswana.
I mean, he's got 9 players from Zwaneng, because
exactly.
Zwaneng in the last 12 months have been traveling the continent, knowing what it's like, the conditions been like.
100%.
And the back-to-back champions. So you can't run away from that.
And then, who's the captain of Botswana?
Dihlokwe. From Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah. With all that said and done, congratulations to all the teams that made it. We're going to look forward to play. Cape Verde is not going, Jackson.
Perfect.
We should write a petition.
Yeah.
Can they add the team? Can they
Cape Verde must go.
Can they add them?
As
Just
an honorary.
Honorary membership.
because of the supporters.
Because of the support.
At best.
Thank you for watching. Wananchi, I'm not sure about the coach. Lufuno's very sure. We will see in the Champions League. Don't forget to subscribe and let us know in the comments what you think. But I think, hey, Kev, you're doing a wonderful thing. The standards that you're putting in the Champions League, national teams are benefiting. Job well done. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Yes.
I saw a cherry and it was red.